Thinking about moving to the Charleston area and you're thinking Mount Pleasant, but you'd like to know the pros and the cons of living there before you make that decision? Well, that's exactly what we're going to get into in this video. So let's get into the video right now. Before we dive into the pros and cons of Mount Pleasant, if you're thinking of making a move to the Charleston area, we would absolutely love the opportunity to help you make a move here. All of our contact info is in the description below, so feel free to shoot us a call, text, or email anytime, and we'll get back to you to help you find the perfect home here in the Charleston area. Now with that out of the way, let's get into the pros and the cons of living in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. Oh, and make sure to stick around until the end so you don't miss out on the biggest con. Let's get into the video right now. Okay, so as we get into the pros of living in Mount Pleasant, the first thing I need to mention is its prime location. Like I mentioned before, Mount Pleasant is located right across the bridge from downtown. Of course, downtown Charleston is one of the most popular and historic places in South Carolina. This makes Mount Pleasant an excellent choice if you enjoy city living but also want that suburban lifestyle kind of feel. Its proximity to downtown Charleston makes it easily accessible to all the great food, culture, and entertainment you'll find downtown. The commute downtown is about 15 to 20 minutes if you're coming from South Mount Pleasant, and if you're coming from North Mount Pleasant, it'll take you about 20 to 30 minutes of a drive. And if you happen to be going to Daniel Island, that's just a 12-minute commute. Additionally, if you're living in Mount Pleasant, it's about 30 minutes or more to other parts of town like West Ashley, North Charleston, Goose Creek, and Somerville. And one of the great things about the location too is actually our next pro, and that is easy access to the beach. Mount Pleasant is just a short drive away from some of the most beautiful beaches in the state. That makes it an ideal location for beach lovers. In fact, you can be as little as 10 minutes to the beach. Isle of Palms and Sullivan's Island are two of the three most popular beaches in the Charleston area, and these beaches offer a wide array of activities and amenities for you to enjoy. Isle of Palms has a park area with picnic tables, a playground, a volleyball court, and also changing rooms for your convenience. And nearby on Isle of Palms, you'll find plenty of restaurants and shops so that you and your family can grab a bite to eat after a long day. Now, Sullivan's Island is another popular beach located just across the Ben Sawyer Bridge from Mount Pleasant. In addition to having the usual beach activities, Sullivan's Island also has the historic lighthouse and Fort Moultrie for you to visit. Now, Sullivan's Island also has a great range of restaurants, bars, and shops for you to visit, so no matter which beach you choose, you can't go wrong. Now, as great as the beaches are, you're gonna love this next pro, and that is the convenience of living in Mount Pleasant. Mount Pleasant has all the shopping centers, grocery stores, and restaurants that you'll ever need. They've got places like Harris Teeter, Publix, Costco, Whole Foods, and the only Trader Joe's in the Charleston area as well. Some of these great shopping centers include Bell Hall, the Market at Oakland, and Town Center. Town Center also has the Palmetto Grand Regal Theater, where you can sit back and watch a movie while people bring your food to you. Oh, and in terms of restaurants, you have so many options. These options range from Southern cuisine to seafood to international cuisine, so whatever you're in the mood for, you'll find it here. Some local favorites are Page's Okra Grill, Nico, Shelter, Basil, Bon Bon Me, you name it, the list goes on. So with all of these options, you're sure to find something that suits your taste. So as you can see, whether you enjoy going out to eat, going shopping, or you just need to grab some groceries, Mount Pleasant's got everything you need. Now with our next pro, Mount Pleasant is also family friendly in my opinion. This town offers so many amenities and things to do for families and children of all ages. For example, we've got several playgrounds scattered throughout Mount Pleasant, providing plenty of opportunities for kids to run around and play. Some of the most popular parks include Mount Pleasant Waterfront Park and Palmetto Islands County Park. Both parks have fishing piers and playground areas and have a little bit different of a view depending on where you are, but both views are gorgeous. There are also a number of educational and cultural places as well. For example, Boone Hall Plantation hosts guided tours and exhibits. It's one of America's oldest working plantations and is still in use today. It offers a glimpse into the history of the South, and it also puts on seasonal events and festivals such as the Low Country Strawberry Festival, the Low Country Oyster Festival, and Boone Hall Fright Nights. And if you've never been to Fright Nights around Halloween time, it's a great time. Now, Mount Pleasant is not only a family-friendly city, but it also offers a diverse range of housing options to suit your needs. And that is our next pro. From waterfront properties with boat access to established neighborhoods to newer subdivisions, you're sure to find something for you and your family. If you prefer the charm and the character of an older home, then you might like Old Village in Mount Pleasant. Or if you desire a more modern kind of lifestyle, there's also Ion, Park West, and Rivertown Country Club. These communities offer a mix of single-family homes, townhomes, and condos. And they offer amenities like walking trails, tennis courts, golf courses, and more. So whether you're a young family looking for a starter home, or you're looking to retire, or if you're someone in between, we've got you covered. And if you need more suggestions on places to live, we've got you covered in the next few videos. And all of these great pros so far would not be possible without this next pro, and that is a strong economy and growing job market. Mount Pleasant's economy is driven by tourism, the growing healthcare industry, and the manufacturing and logistics industry. The growth of these industries, of course, brings along with it abundant job creation. And because of Mount Pleasant's proximity to the port of Charleston, it's attracted lots of manufacturing companies and young professionals moving here. And that makes it a great place to live, work, and raise a family. So that wraps up all the pros of living in Mount Pleasant. And before we get into the cons of the video, drop a like down below if you're enjoying the video so far. Now let's get into the cons and the downside of living in Mount Pleasant. One of the major cons, I would say, is traffic. Particularly when you're leaving Mount Pleasant or going onto Mount Pleasant, you're going to be crossing either the Ravenel Bridge or the Don Holt Bridge. These bridges experience delays every other day, so plan for extra travel time when you're commuting to and from Mount Pleasant. But as with any major city, you're going to find that traffic is something that you'll want to consider. Now, moving on to the next con, Mount Pleasant is prone to hurricanes and tropical storms. Mount Pleasant is closer to the water than other places in Charleston, so you might experience a little more when these storms come through. So make sure you're properly prepared. Make sure your windows are reinforced, your trees are trimmed, and you have plenty of supplies in case the power goes out. And as I mentioned in the pros and cons of living in Charleston video, you'll have plenty of advanced notice for when hurricanes and storms roll through. Another downside of living in Mount Pleasant is how warm the weather is. Now, with 211 sunny days out of the year, it can get quite hot, especially when combined with the humidity of Charleston in general. However, this does mean that you can enjoy activities such as golfing, biking, or playing pickleball year-round. Just the other day, I was walking through my neighborhood and I noticed 2 games of pickleball going on, and it is the middle of January. So even during this time of the year, people are able to do their favorite activities. Now, as we come on to the last con, this is actually the most controversial con, so I had to put this in here. And that is Mount Pleasant's cost of living. Mount Pleasant is often considered expensive, and for good reason. It has a median home price of $730,000, and its cost of living is 16% higher than the national average. However, the cost of living is relative to where you're coming from if you're relocating. For example, if you're coming from another part of South Carolina or a smaller, more rural town, you're going to find that it's more expensive. But if you're relocating from places like California or New York, this might actually be a great affordable choice for you. It's also worth considering that Mount Pleasant's convenience and proximity to the beach make it a great, desirable place to live. And ultimately, it's your decision on whether or not it's worth it for you. I personally enjoy living in Mount Pleasant, so I think the pros definitely outweigh the cons. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. And that wraps up our list of the pros and cons of living in Mount Pleasant. If you enjoyed this video, smash the like button. And again, if you're thinking about moving to Mount Pleasant or the Charleston, South Carolina area, reach out with us. Send us a call, text, or email. Just reach out and we'd be happy to help you make a smooth move to the Charleston, South Carolina area. And we'll see you soon in the next video.